Oh my god, you look like Orochimaru. Oh! I can change the way I look if I want to. Hey everyone, I'm back. I finished editing the character again. I added some acne, changed the hairstyle and the glasses a bit, gave her more of a, middle school appearance, because I feel like that's what we're going into since it gave me acne. So, yeah, let's continue. Done. Feelings. I think I'm relaxed around him. I think I have a relaxed crush. Ready, yes! Customize. Choose to customize Cove yourself or let his prior experiences determine it. Both. Oh! I can change what Cove looks like. Oh, look at the gnarly scar on his arm. Okay, give me another second. I'm gonna change Cove. Okay, guys, just to show you real quick what I did with Cove, this is it. I did this for his PJs, jacket, and casual. Done. Personality. Warm, affable, and sporty. I like that. Done. This is how you feel towards Derek for this step. It can be the same or different for how you feel for Cove. Who the hell is Derek? Oh, was that one of the characters that I gained a, relaxed fond? I feel like I've grown out of my nervous stage. Okay, so I'm gonna be 100% honest. I know I got the DLC. I know that I got the DLC. But I genuinely don't think that I'm gonna like anyone more than Cove. And also, Cove's kind of the initial character of the game, and I really like his character, so I'm gonna go with Cove. I feel like there's gonna be the most stuff for him, so he's gonna be my main focus for this playthrough. I'm not gonna do another playthrough of this game, as I've already stated. I want people to go through and buy the DLC themselves and play this game. So please go through and do that, because this game is amazing. I really do suggest it. To anyone who loves like a good visual novel or anyone who loves a good romance game, it's a really great pick. It's an amazing pick. So we're just gonna go with relaxed fond, because I don't have an option to not be fond. Yes. Wait, what? Okay. August ended. September began. It was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. You weren't sure how Cove felt about it. He was enrolled that year. That was like a sign Cove would be staying in Sunset Bird for a while. At school, he was alright, but kept his distance from the other kids, from what you saw anyway. Whenever youthful affection started playing step 2 using the crush interest level, whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. I think he has a crush on me. Sometimes it was like things were exactly the same as when you had first met. But other times as you got older, you couldn't ignore how the feelings changed in meaningful ways. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talk about it, saying Cove's dad got full custody. Hell yeah! At first, you worried that meant bad news. It had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Oh. She didn't fight. She didn't fight for Cove. Oh, I feel bad now. Then you found out it meant Cove would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks of the year. Cove cried too. For different reasons, you thought. Oh, maybe Mr. Holden cried out of happiness. Okay. It seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He had said he didn't want to uproot Cove's uproot Cove's life a second time. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden would volunteered you to spend time with Cove. He seemed very confident that it was an effective strategy. Well, yeah, it seems like I'm the only thing that Cove likes about Sunset Bird, or Aura is. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents, and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed, but you hoped that you could help him feel better still, since even without the tears, he looked sad. Maybe one day he could say out loud what he felt inside. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. Okay, I was right. Middle school, so then it's going to go up to high school. Okay. That officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. Toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes too. Cove's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out in pride when someone drew attention to it. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest student in his class for 2 years in a row. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood out because of, how well he did in gym and other athletic situations. Over the years, he began opening up more too. You saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. And the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood when you were little, Shiloh, well, he was gone. Aww, we don't get to see Shiloh anymore? He and his mom moved back south because of her work, just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. It had been really upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. That's too bad. You learned some heartbreaking things became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That's true. That was sad in its own way. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. Hey, your girl got purple dyed hair too. You remember calling her Mommy as a kid, and something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for the word. Lizzie felt too mature for her nickname too. She insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth. So you did. Your mom soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated more and more with girls from school who were her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. Yeah. I mean, 15, I think she's in... Yeah, she may be in freaking high school. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek Suarez. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Cove's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek would pop up in the new area now and then. It seemed Mr. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work, if Derek had the time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed, in small and big ways. You had too. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it, school was over, and summer vacation had come again. Oh, damn. Look at the new room. I got a scuba kit, got a hamper, got a computer now. God, I wish I had a computer when I was 13. I didn't get my computer till recently. Oh, well, heck yeah. We got a bigger bed, makes sense. Got a lamp. HCWI023G. It looks like we're still sticking to the nerd thing, and I'm happy about it. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was as hot as ever, but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. To be more specific, you were snuggled up in bed, celebrating your time off by sleeping in, wide awake, about to head out to enjoy your time. Sleeping in! It was hot, but you still had the blanket up over your head to block out the sun. You didn't want it to intrude on your lazy morning. Unfortunately, you hadn't prepared for an intrusion. From beneath the blanket, you heard the door creak open. Whoa, Elizabeth! I'm still gonna call you Lizzie, screw it. Whoa, Lizzie, you have changed. You look a lot different. You look cool. You look like the popular girl. I like the pattern. I really like the orange pattern. Reminds me of, that one show. Toradora. God, I'm gonna get some responses for liking that show. You're still sleeping? Wow, get up. Yep, that's the new voice. You started to fake snore loudly. You didn't get out of bed and instead made some obnoxiously loud and totally phony sleeping sounds. It was pretty annoying, but she had bothered you first. Ah! Not funny. Get up now. I will come over there. So much for a lazy morning. Your special boy is at the door, like he always is now. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him. Say thanks or whatever. You did not like the way she called him your special boy, but you knew by now that saying so wouldn't stop her.
Come on.
So come down already. Okay, fine. Really? That's great. Really? That's great. I'm coming. Yes, I like this voice for me. Really? That's great. I'm coming. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what was instructed of her. You rolled out of bed, stretching your arms up high and yawning. Time to get ready. You sat yourself in front of the mirror in the far corner of your room. Your reflection hardly even fit the frame. You're very tall. Your reflection went over the whole length of the middle. There was a lot of open real estate in the frame. You're pretty short. I'm short. I love the trope of short to tall. Whether that's the girl is very tall or the guy is short, I really like that trope. So because of that, I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm gonna go with the I am short, since they said that Cove's the tall one. There was a lot of open real estate in the frame. You're pretty short. You could relate to Derek and how it felt to be smaller than people thought you ought to be. Your shortness seemed even more drastic when compared to Cove, who was unusually tall. You weren't sure how to... You were kind of self-conscious over it. You couldn't help but feel awkward with the body you had. Then you put the finishing touches on your outfit, while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to today, so this worked in your favor. It was when you spotted your reflection that you realized you were smiling wide. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, taking an easy time down the stairs. Damn, I was hoping I would get to see my reflection. Step 2. A second chance. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was perusing through. Morning, Aura. Morning, Mom. Morning, Mom. Morning, Mom. God, I'm trying to get... Because I went with kind of like this, so I need to kind of... Yes, this voice. Yes, the same voice I give to Irina Koliana. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. I like the bun. I like the new outfit. Good morning, Aura. Thank you for coming down. I'm not going to change the mom's voice. Ma's at the door. Or with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of the house just as she said. Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you, because she was looked over her shoulder.
Oh?
That's not really as bright a purple as I, but it is kind of purple. Look who finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. Ma reached forward, and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so at your height, you were absolutely tiny in her eyes. You pushed her hand back and laughed. Ma could be so ridiculous, you thought, but that was okay. You're the last one down today, you know that. Life isn't a race. Funny, I don't think that excuse will work if you're late for anyone other than your own mother, though. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. Cove was just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. I don't know about that. From the look of him, he changed a lot. Oh, holy hell. Hi, Blushing Cove. Hi, 13-year-old Cove. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as his bushy hair covered part of his face. His features were pinched in embarrassment as he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much-talked-about gift. Looks like a melon thing. At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers. Then you gave it a real look. No, instead, it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. At the sight of you, Cove smiled, but there was some nervousness to it. I think he has a crush on me as well. He's awesome. Hey. His voice used to be like, hey. You smiled back. You couldn't help thinking to when you first met Cove, and how you became such good friends. Lately, though, you were starting to have different feelings for him. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah, you too. His grip on the base of the gift tightened, and your heartbeat sped up, even if neither of you had spoken about it. Both of you were aware something new was growing in your relationship. It was already shaping up to be another long summer. The best part was that the two of you had plenty of time to spend together and explore what was developing. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. Your hands brushed over his just slightly when you took hold of the base. He flinched enough for you to know with certainty that he noticed it happen. You couldn't help but smile to yourself. And with that, the gift was accepted. I hope you and your, family like this. It's a pretty good gift. I think so, anyway. He smiled earnestly. Dad spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There were so many options to choose from. I'm not that blunt. Okay, so here's the deal. I love the bluntness, and I love the teasingness. I could go with a whole Miss Nagatoro situation, or I could go a little bit more classic and go with a whole Toradora situation. You're too cute sometimes. I'm gonna tease him. I'm not trying to be. Just thank my dad for all this, okay? All right. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any neighbor you'd ever had, though after 5 years, you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. He was great and kinda handsome to boot. Nah, he was great. Though there were some things people didn't like about Mr. Holden, you didn't mind them and liked him quite a lot. I think he's a great guy. I thought so since the beginning of the series. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are! You shared a confused look with Cove. As one, both of you stepped through the open door onto the neighborhood street. It didn't take long. Jesus Christ, Cove looks so much different. He does not look 13. It's just like how freaking, Mr. Holden didn't look like he was freaking had a kid Cove's age. Didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. You were happy at the sight of him. Derek was certainly a welcome guest in your neighborhood. It was a pleasant surprise whenever he showed up. Now that guy right there, he is a teenager. He looks like a middle schooler. He looks exactly like a middle schooler. Cove doesn't. Cove looks like a freaking high schooler. After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin.
Hey.
Hey, guy. Hey, guy and gal. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Perfect voice for him. Should have figured to be at Aura's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just there? I like him. Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it had embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? You followed his gaze, unsure. Then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. It's kind of like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit. Nice. Can I have some? Sure, we can share. Derek grew more excited by your words, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Awesome! Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyway, that's right. I came here because I need to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Cove was as surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through. Nuh-uh. The new kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you, talk to him? Nope. I came to report the sighting right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked. Slowly, you looked over to your longtime neighbor. Yeah, hold on a second. That, sounds a lot like you, Cove. When you first got here, anyway. It kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Derek snickered good-naturedly. I can see that really well, now that you say so. But what'd you say? Let's go find Cove's look-alike. We should all meet him. Sure. I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned, then he pointed down the street the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. Oh, nothing else needed to be said. Derek's now the new narrator. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. I think he's my new favorite voice. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. He scuffled around, kicking up the sand as he paced. It was true, he certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched-up expression, he came off angry. You started to have doubts about this expression. Maybe it'd be better if you left him alone and let him sort himself out. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy, Hey! Hey, guy, over here! Oh my god, you look like Orochimaru. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carving deeper onto His eyes were tired, but a strong hostile energy still radiated from him.
What is it? What do you want?
The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. What's your name?
Jeremy. Was that it?
No.
Nah, I'm Derek. That's Aura and Cove. We were just walking around and saw you. We want to say hi.
There aren't a lot of kids in our age in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so it's cool to see someone else here.
Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened then.
They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course, I knew it.
What? Sorry, what?
My parents.
My parents. They're the ones who brought me. I didn't walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own?
Right.
Right. My dad brings me to Sunset Bird too, when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad.
That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this guy.
I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation, probably, either. That's an understatement. This doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time. A chore. My parents' family is nearby, and we just had to come see them.
I love Cove staring at him. Cove's just like, I don't care. Whereas Derek's like, I'm gonna look away. Cove's just like, bro, I'm like a foot above you.
If they're your parents' family, doesn't that make them your family too? I guess. That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No.
Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away.
They should have gone by themselves, since they cared so much, and left me home, but I'm not allowed to be myself. Makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything, and I'm the kid.
Who peed in your cereal this morning? As much as I like that response, I'm still the nerdy Aura. I'm still the nerdy Aura. Sorry, it must suck being forced to do something you don't want to do. That's confirming what he's saying's good. I don't agree with him. We just said hello. You don't have to calm down. You don't have to yell so much. I think the best situation here is to keep quiet. You had no idea what to say to this, so you stayed silent. Jeremy didn't even notice, too focused on ranting.
How do they always make summer vacation worse every year?
You turned to Cove, lowering your voice.
The two of you aren't that similar after all.
Jeremy must have had good hearing, though, because she caught the private exchange and scoffed.
Of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid.
Cove's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You wouldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both.
Come on.
I'm not gonna take that. Nope. Don't listen to him. They're really unique and special. Cove smiled weakly.
Special because of how ridiculous they look, maybe. I'm
not a fighter. You patted Cove on the shoulder. Cove gave you a watery look in exchange for the silent support. Trying to talk to the rude boy clearly wasn't going to go anywhere.
Well, what is wrong with you?
Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice.
Well, what's wrong with you? Where?
This
is dumb.
Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sound everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over, until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. I don't like him.
I can't believe it.
What a mean kid. He probably has something going on. Derek wasn't kidding, and by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy, Jeremy, was going to be in the area for at least a little while this summer. Derek sighed in dismay, plopping onto the ground. You followed, and Cove did shortly after. There wasn't much else to do.
This
This sucks, man. I was hoping we could meet someone fun, hang out maybe.
He shook his head after a moment. He slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression.
But you know what would really improve the day?
What?
What?
He didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. You'd completely forgotten about it during the mini-drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the weight. Glancing over to Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. He must want some too.
Why not? Let's eat.
Derek perked up immediately at your words. He reached out for a skewer, hesitating slightly, only once he was inches away.
Are you sure?
You nodded with an eager grin. He plucked out a prime row of fruits. Cove grabbed one for himself after him. Only you were without a skewer of your own. You took a strawberry skewer. Actually, no, pineapple. The pineapple was cut to look like a flower. It was the obvious first choice. Derek ate a pineapple skewer enthusiastically, finishing it within moments.
This is amazing. It tastes pretty nice, and this fruit kebab thing is fun. Hey, you two remember the Land Before Time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all liked the leaves that were shaped like stars.
Tree stars.
Yeah, chomping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. And there was that scene with the pretty trees and all the dinosaurs came in and picked everything off them till there was nothing. That's us right now. Awesome!
I love Derek. I'm just gonna say it. He's cool.
Eating leaves looks good. Should I worry about you?
He snickered.
No, I'm not gonna do it for real, but I did pretend I was a long neck when I ate broccoli one time.
The three of you continued like this for the next few minutes. Eventually, the display was barren. It looked weird when devoid of fruit. Eating it all hadn't really... It did help make you feel better. Derek was right. It was so good you were already brightening up from the earlier drama. Hey, Aura.
Yeah?
Yeah? The two of you met eyes casually.
Thanks for what you said back then. It's not nice. It's nice not everybody thinks like that guy.
Oh, it's okay. He was just being a jerk.
Derek chimed in strongly.
Don't listen to it, Cove. He's the problem. People shouldn't say those kind of things. Yeah.
Derek then leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky with a content sigh.
So, are you both ready for summer break?
Yeah.
Cool on you. Wish I could say the same. Feels like there's a lot to plan for. What about you, Cove? Are you ready?
I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. Hey, Aura! You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Holden brought for us. She leered over you with arms folded. So, where is it? Well, it's gone. What do you mean, gone? You moved over to the side to face her completely. She zeroed in on the bouquet in your hands, which was now populated exclusively with skewers, dripping in juice, and tiny flecks of leftover fruit pieces. Her mouth dropped open, and the tone of her voice rose. What? Seriously, Aura? What were you thinking? It was supposed to be for all of us at home. She glanced at Cove, who sat beside you, and continued mockingly. Even if you are the most important person in the household to the delivery boy, this was up to his dad. Seemed everybody was in the mood to tease you and Cove today. Within moments, Cove's cheeks flushed red. He picked at the hem of his shirt, suddenly finding it very interesting. He always became nervous when Elizabeth would strike at your relationship. God, I wanted to not be direct, but I'm gonna have to fight for this shy boy. I can't let him be freaking manhandled by everyone. I have to be the tiger in this relationship. It wasn't us. A single came down and ate it.
Oh, while we weren't looking! Elizabeth narrowed her eyes, not at all deceived by your response.
Oh no. I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here.
Elizabeth blinked confused and looked around.
What kid? What kid? I don't see anyone.
Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched to his feet and ran off. Cov hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but he sent a look to you from over his shoulder. You turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brow raised. You ran! Without a word, you two got to your feet and bolted down the breach. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes. They're so immature. She shook her head as she walked towards the house, not bothering whatsoever to follow. Meanwhile, the three of you made it back to the shoreline. Derek pumped his fist, grinning in triumph.
We escaped and shall live to see another day. Victory!
You threw your arms up in celebration. You chuckled together, walking further down the beach, side by side. You definitely wanted to stay outside a little while longer. You had gotten a bit of a scolding from your moms for not saving any of Mr. Holden's gift for Elizabeth, but you didn't get any real punishment for it. Instead, while you were out with the boys, Elizabeth returned home to share the news. The three of them went to get dessert on their own. It was declared even by your parents when everyone got back, and the event was settled. After that, Derek had rejoined you in the living room. He'd elected to stay outside for extra time so that you could face the potential scolding from your family without him witnessing the embarrassment. Derek was a guy you could count on. I like Derek. The dust had settled from the prior events of your moms, and your moms went back to their room, so Derek was just taking it easy until his dad arrived. Mr. Suarez was meant to be there any minute to get Derek. Derek preferred not to sit, and instead took long, lazy strides in a circle around the edge of the rug, hands behind his back and head angled toward the ceiling. Derek looked like he might have been puzzling out a crime. He probably made a half-dozen rounds when a solid knock struck your front door. That stopped Derek in his tracks. Dad's here! The both of you stepped towards the door in unison. You arrived first, since you'd had a half-room head start. When you pulled it open only a crack, someone zoomed in past you. The breakneck flash of a human was still entirely recognizable. It was Derek's littlest brother, Nicholas Suarez. He shouted triumphantly. I love the look at this kid.
Derek! We're here!
He was only 6, the tiniest kid around here. Hot on his heels came the middle Suarez son, Jorge. Nicholas! We have to stay in the car. We're going home. We're not here to play. He was 10, and his patience was being tested. The youngest one frantically shook his head. It made his hair even messier than it already was. Nicholas's hair was as wild and free as he was. Hair clips and his parents' minivan couldn't contain the energy, which might have been surprising, considering he loved cars enough to wear a shirt covered in them. But you knew Nicholas loved Derek even more. Staying right where he was, inside your house, at his even older brother's side, Nicholas gave Derek a hug.
I came to get you!
Derek bent down to scoop Nicholas into his arms in a fond squeeze, though he kept his face tilted up to make eye contact with Jorge. Hey, bros! Side by side, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez trailed in. Aw, they look like a cute couple. I like Mr. Suarez. He looks awesome. Suarez looks kind. The resemblance between the parents and their children was clear. Derek and Jorge were the spitting image of their father. Jorge was even sometimes called Junior, while Nicholas was a mommy's boy. A good evening, Aura. Hello. You'll have to forgive the three-ring circus visiting town. The boys just had to come. Don't worry about that. You're welcome here. I love seeing the boys. While Nicholas continued to cuddle with his favorite person, what you said got enough of his attention for his sweet smile to be sent your way. You're a sweetheart.
Goodbye.
But we can't stay. Thank you for letting Derek visit, and tell your mothers I said hello. Okay. Come on, boys. All 4 of you now.
Let's give the Brogard family their house back.
Coming.
Yes, Mom.
Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom.
Half of the group trotted forward with only a word. They went past Miss Suarez and out the door. She watched them go before surveying the situation with the most troublesome one. Nicholas was just bouncing around Derek as if he hadn't even heard his parent. Derek and his mom looked on with identical expressions of exhaustion, tinged with affection. When an opportunity opened up between hops, Derek carefully took hold of Nicholas's hands.
Let's go to the car, Nico. You can sit next to me.
Thrilled by the promise, Nicholas let out another cheer.
Yeah, let's go to the car.
Miss Suarez left it there, trusting her eldest, and went to join Mr. Suarez and Jorge. Nicholas gripped Derek's black wristband with his free hand, stretching it outward in his eager attempt to lead his bigger brother along. Derek stumbled forward with a chuckle, mostly to protect his band from being pulled too far rather than Nicholas actually having the strength to move him. But he made sure not to forget. Derek said his goodbye from over his shoulder.
Bye, gal.
Goodbye, everybody.
After their prompt entrance and equally quick exit, the whole Suarez family was on their way home. You, however, didn't have anywhere to go. It was late enough that the rest of the day would be spent inside your own house. That was a while ago. Now, later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin, Leandra. You didn't want to miss it by accident. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they'd moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's going to want to come over a lot. The two of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie. Oops, Elizabeth, too. But now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl. I think I'm, as a nerd, I think I'm more of a tomboy. I'm more of like, I end up spending a lot of time with the Cove and Derek and the other Suarez family. You weren't all that close with any other girls your age. But you didn't really have a lot of other friends either. Close-knit group. Ma always said that quality was more important than quantity when Elizabeth bemoaned about your small social circle. You weren't sure how friendship quality was judged, but nevertheless, you thought that what you had with Lee was good. Then the shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. God, there's so many new characters, so many new voices, I'm not going to remember any of them. Luckily, when I go back to edit this video, I'm going to have to remember all of them from multiple times.
Lee. Brogard residence, Aura speaking.
You were greeted by a distorted, high-pitched giggle.
Why do you sound so weird?
No, that doesn't sound like her.
Why? Why do you sound so weird? Mom answers the phone like that sometimes. It's supposed to be polite. You should go with hi. That was something a robot would say.
There was static on the end, as if Lee was shifting wherever she was.
So, can you believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff, and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out... Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room. Oh, yeah, of course.
You got up from your seat at the counter. Luckily, the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which is why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. You thought that made sense. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom and talk to her. You made your way up the stairs, smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed.
All right, I'm here. Cool. Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't even have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd change their mind. We could call each other every single day, and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Really great. We could even stay up late talking about whatever we wanted. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to college. School was such a big part of your life right now. God, yeah, I don't know. College isn't for everyone. So, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get to make that choice for Aura. I don't think that's going to be a part of the story. I think it's going to be high school and then that's it. But yeah, if I had to choose, I don't know if I'd choose college. Maybe there's a lot of good college careers you can go for, but the debt is so high nowadays for college. That's just my personal opinion, though. I guess it depends on what you select as your degree, and, you know, there's certain college stuff that you can go for where you're going to be able to get a job from it, especially if you do internships and stuff, and other stuff you're not going to. So, and, you know, college can be fun, especially if you're going to learn a language. But, yeah, I digress. Studying didn't come easy to you. You worked about as hard. Everything in your classes came easily to you. Yeah. I feel like I like this response. I feel like she's, like, I already established Aura was a super smart kid. She's just a little shy, so I like this one. You soaked up information as naturally as a sponge absorbed water. You had yet to worry about school being hard for you. Felt a lot of pressure. You hope to do just as well this year, but it wouldn't be a big deal. You were confident your grades would remain great. You could definitely keep the streak going. Yeah. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled. You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. I'm looking forward to going back. You're speaking English, but I don't understand those words. You laughed, aware that many kids wouldn't voice your enjoyment of school. Though, I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Learning new things can be cool. Yeah. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught the things, not just some people.
Me too.
Me too. It's the easiest way to hang out with people. Lunches at my school could be better than they had any right to be. It's the easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. If I didn't go to school, I'd never meet anybody new. No one really comes here. The cafeteria... but that was all. I don't think either of these. I hated school lunch. But that was all. And that's pretty much everything. That's good about school. Okay, a point taken. Now I decree the topic of school stuff is officially closed. I feel like her voice is leaning towards Lizzie, but it's going to be hard for me to not do similar voices. We have to talk about this summer. First, before we start plotting the rest of our lives, I've got some plans already. Ooh, tell me. Dish the tea, girl. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled. Of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head.
Probably, I want to spend time with people, reading.
Let me know if you read anything good, unless it's scary or sad.
Sure. You lean back in your bed, settling in, as you continue chatting with your friend, even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her, and you'd be seeing her soon. You found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day, you sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Eric today, and we met a new kid.
Like at your neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. His parents are visiting, family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like?
Mean.
Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone, especially Cove. It was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her.
Hey, who are you to talk? You give practically all your attention to boys, or maybe just one boy. I see how much you like Cove. You got me.
Lee laughed at your affirmation, deeply amused. If she's my only girlfriend, I feel like that I would talk a lot more with her than others. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown etched on her face. How long are you gonna hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand, the other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. Sorry for being long. Lee, I have to go now.
Bye.
Okay, see you soon. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi too.
You'd barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset away from your fingers and began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your ma's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in wake. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. I'm not gonna hog the phone. Lizzie and me don't have to fight. I may not get along completely with Lizzie, but I'll be the amiable one. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside, and you laid in bed wide awake. Your windows rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon and an open sky. You were curious. What had caused that noise? Cocking your head, you sat up and moved closer to the window. Hey, it's the creepy noise again. You wanted to get to the bottom of this. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by... Oh, never mind. It's Cove throwing a rock at my window. Your gaze was met by a familiar pair of ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house is very angular, and some parts stuck out further than others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could, didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were braced against the section of wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved it at you from the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Cove climbed over the edge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside. Hey, Aura.
This sure is a surprise, but you're always welcome.
Amazing, my dreams have come true.
Amazing, my dreams have come true. This sure is a surprise, but you're always welcome.
Thanks. I know that it's late, but I didn't know what else to do. I told myself I wouldn't be the direct one.
And I keep leaning into that. I'm like, I want to tease Cove. I want to tease him. It's like an innate sense in my bones.
If I rang the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered and they'd just make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Besides, with you, I mean, but that's why I did that.
As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong.
I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone.
Cove suddenly looked very cross.
Dad, he was talking to my mom. Still is, probably.
You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation? You didn't comment on him eavesdropping. He's trying to tell something. There were other things to talk about. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened, varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summers. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving, and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. Oh, thank God. I was about to be like, what? You're going to make me spend time with the others? I don't want to spend time with the others. I want to spend time with Cove.
That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us here.
You waited for him to I don't like that. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. What did your mom say?
She told him she'd come. I know she's coming too, soon, before school starts.
Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone, and another to actually meet them very soon. You were going to see Cove's mom in person. Oh, that'll be interesting. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread.
Before they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're gonna be all together again, the three of us, after all this time, just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy. They can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I feel really bad for feeling this way.
Nothing wrong with having complex feelings.
Aura, it's so...
You know, his voice really doesn't match the voice I gave him, but his face matches the voice I gave him more, I feel like. His fists tightened and his eyes became misty.
I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already, and I'm not a little kid.
Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. I literally said this. I'm gonna say this, though. I'm sorry, Cove. You know I'm here for you. The tense line of Cove's shoulders eased. Thanks. That makes me feel a little better. Like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so... crazy. The mini debacle over Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude. And as if all that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated, and hard, and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? That's not how things work. Things get harder with time. You just get better at dealing with it.
Aura.
The sound of your name said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you concerned.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I don't know. I don't know.
I get it, at least. I think I do.
Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine.
Moonlight from outside cast shadows across his face and lit up his eyes. They seemed to sparkle with his smile. Just that one look brightened your mood somewhat.
You know, I think I don't want to talk anymore about this.
He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed at his arm.
But I kinda don't want to go back home, either. Could I stay a little longer, just doing something else?
He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away?
I've got a flashlight and some cards. Are you in?
You tilted your head, waiting patiently for his answer, arms behind your back, one arm hanging low, the other grasping your wrist, smiling brightly. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place, and that was a change you never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much more over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again. Again! The soundtrack! It's so good! But you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad. He must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. You took his hand in yours. You stretched your arm out and gently held his hand. It wasn't much, but you hoped the contact helped even a little. We did it as when we were kids. Wouldn't be that weird. Cove blinked, startled, before his expression softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilted and broken, often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways. And you knew Cove felt the same. I don't like the foreshadowing. I don't like your foreshadowing game. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your windows and warming your olive skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes, before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together, trying to not wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wonder how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up for a little while longer. Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left. He was still there. In the morning,